Hey everybody, it's Elena here on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock Pacific time from the Witches Box, where we do our weekly live Tuesday gathering where I do an Oracle reading and then we hang out and do a witchcraft Q&A. And I already see that we've got Callum and Emerance here. So hello, welcome both of you. And I think we have actually 6 people here. So, and Layla, hello, welcome. Tatiana, hello. Hey, you guys. It's a very it's cold today. We had like a little bit of a warm front and now it's really cold. It's raining and super foggy. It's really magical out there. So I've got my heater on. So we know what that means. Okay. Hey, from the Netherlands. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Angela. Kat, welcome. Beautiful. Beautiful. So hi. What is the deal today? Let me see. Hold on, because I have something bothering my eye. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Hey, Abby and Sky. It's not Sophia, it's Sky. Hello, welcome. Colum, I'm so sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. It sounds like it's a big one, so a lot of rest for sure. Recipes. Kat. Hi, Kat. Welcome. It's so good to see you too. Oh my goodness, it's been a minute since I've seen your name pop up. For Colum, it depends on what it is, love. Everybody's got a different protocol for healing. It sounds like you've got an infection of some sort. Who knows what it could be? I do for my immune system and an antiviral, antibacterial. I take 1 to 2 drops of oregano oil mixed in water and I drink it. It's a pretty powerful oil, but it's really great for just killing whatever bug is going on as much as it can, because it doesn't do it for everything and it's not a surefire thing. I think I put it in our the Witches Gathering forum. We have a whole thread on like healing protocols. I put a link to a tincture that I also take whenever I start to feel like that, just that initial like, oh, you know, that scratch that you get in your throat. I take this tincture like 3 and 4 times a day for like 3 straight days, and that tends to either end it or cut it really short for me. I also take a lot of, and this is intense, but I do raw garlic. I mash up garlic and I mix it in with some food, because if I know people who just do it just completely, just the garlic in their mouth, and garlic can be super intense. But then lots of water, lots of sleep, and I reduce sugar. I reduce all things that are processed foods, because that taxes your system and it really keeps your immune system from functioning at its optimal. But the rest is so important. So those are some of the things that I do. I'm sure that other people have their own healing protocols. But if you're feeling really, really weak, also go see someone, go see a professional, because it could be something really serious. Let's see. Mike, welcome. Mike, Ladybug, hello in Florida. Some random ginger, hello. Julmar, hello. I just sent a comment to you. Where was it? I saw you. Oh, I think it was here on YouTube. I responded to something that you said. Let me take a drink. What else? Girl, Kat, I'm so sorry. Oh, Kat, I know you have been so consistent about asking for this, and I don't have any more, and I can't find the recipes. This is what I actually said to Julmar. It's all coming together. I made a comment to Julmar on one of our videos here, I think, where she said something to the effect of she's refocusing her bookshelf, but I shared with her that I'm refocusing my bookshelf and a couple of other things. And for me, the refocusing is clearing out, reorganizing, throwing out and culling what is no longer needed and what doesn't serve. And in that search, those recipes will pop up, because I didn't throw them away. They're in a notebook somewhere. And once I have those recipes, I'm just going to post them so that you all can make those sprays for yourself, because I won't be making any more. I'm really, really sorry. I know that a lot of you who had the moon mists were just in love with them. They were quite amazing. And I am tempted to say that I'd make them again, because they were really amazing. And I too just had my last few drops of one, like, that I got rid of, and I fully used probably a couple months ago. But we just don't have the capacity to do that level of production anymore. And so I will, when I find the recipes, I will post them, because you should all be able, they're easy to make. You should all be able to make your own so you can use them. I know that they were really quite powerful mist blends, I have to say. In another life, I have a whole apothecary where I sell all my goods, but we just couldn't sustain it here. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, hold on a second. Hi, Rochelle. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I think it was, geez, like 2, maybe 3 years ago, I sent out 3 different mists, a full moon mist, a dark moon mist, and a new moon mist. And they were pretty amazing. And Kat has been a big fan of those for a while, and she keeps asking for a refill, and it's like, we're not doing them. I am growing my hair out and letting out my inner crone, Elizabeth. Absolutely. I mean, look, this is I'm still surprised by it. The last time I dyed it was August 8th. So it's been quite a few months. I'm having a yucky hair day because it was curled and then it rained, and this is what you got. Yeah, Love Light says, I always tell people who are sick, no dairy. No, nothing white. No dairy, no bread, no sugar. Stay away from your white vegetables too. You want like really deep, dark, leafy greens. You want things that aren't going to create inflammation in your body, and you want things that are going to just sustain you and support your immune system and really nourish you with the things that you need in order for your body to get stronger and heal itself. And anything white tends to really just slow and slug up your body. So yeah, those are also things to add to your like health protocols. Alexa says, Elena, did you see that Matt Oren has a new book, Mastering Magic, coming out this October? I did. I saw. I've been, I got my eye out. Sounds wonderful. Okay. Thank you, Love Light. I know it's probably gonna take a while, because what is this? August, September, October, November, December, January. This is 6 months. Like, we're gonna be like this for a while. It is also my Wild Woman. No, it's my Wild Woman, but I had like a cute thing going on with my hair this morning. The curls were all soft and wavy, and then I walked out not thinking that it was gonna rain in the walk from one thing to the next. And it did. And so then it got all flat, and I'm like, well, what are you going to do? It's just, it's what it is. Hey, Ada, welcome. Okay. All right. We're here. So we are doing, the Oracle reading still from this deck. Oh, I have announcements too. So this is the deck that we're using. Nick Bantock's the Archeo. I pre-pull these from this deck because there's reading to do here, so I want to kind of be prepared before I do it when I get on video. In the past, though, usually I just pull and I do the reading right on the spot. Really quickly, so what month are we in? We are in February. The February Witches box contains this deck in it, okay? These are already on sale for those of you who were not subscribed. We, I think, have like 6 or 7 of these left, and then they're gone. So if you haven't, and you want this box, it's an Oracle card box where you've got this deck, but you also have a blank deck, so you can make your own deck. We're in the video that comes with that box, I talk you through how to make your own deck. There's also dice, which mine are here in this, where you can make a second divinatory tool that is personal for you. And we talk about that in the video as well. In any case, this is mine. I went in the theme of planetary magic with my dice. In any case, there's like 6 or 7 of those left. You go to www.thewitchesbox.com. At the store, you'll see that box, because once they're gone, they're gone. That's announcement number 1. Announcement number 2 is that the Bookish Witch Retreat is open for registration. Half of those spots are gone already, which I'm so excited. The group that's coming together is really just like, I mean, you're all amazing, but when I see the names and I see the whole thing forming, it's so, so thrilling. So that is available and open. Half the rooms are gone, or half the beds or spaces are gone already. We've got handful left, and yeah, that's on the website as well. So check that out. If you have questions about that, we can certainly go into it during the Q&A section of this live. And what else is happening? I'm going to look at what's happening now in the chat, and then I'm going to go into the Oracle reading, and then we'll go into Q&A. Thank you, Ashley. Colin says, interesting. Any more food color correspondences? I feel an experiment coming on when I get home. I'm at my Auntie Valerie's house looking after her 5 cats, 5 tortoises, 5 guinea pigs, and 2 rabbits. Holy cow. Maybe you're going through some allergies and fish. My Auntie Valerie's on holiday in Ecuador until the 22nd. That's a lovely long holiday. That's great. Color correspondences. Really, it's about the foods that are going to create that can create inflammation in your body. Whenever you have something that creates inflammation, your body gets sluggish and your immune system gets compromised and a lot of other things get affected. So especially when we're sick, when our body's already taxed and trying to fight something, adding more for it to do will actually depress your immune system. So that's why it's not necessarily the colors. It just happens that that grouping of food comes in that color. Anything refined, anything white, tends to create inflammation. Dairy is one of the big culprits of that as well. Abby says, random question, Elena, do you subscribe to any boxes offered by other businesses? Personally, I always wonder this with curators. I do subscribe to other boxes, but they're not witch boxes. I subscribe to like a hair product box, although I just canceled that. Pros shampoo. I am an avid, I mean, this is like a completely off topic thing. I'm pretty loyal to very particular brands that I have been loyal to for forever. And I deviated from that loyalty for a hot minute and I'm ready to go back. But one of my subscription boxes is called Prose, Prose, not sponsored. And I actually canceled it. And they are a hair shampoo subscription where they send you like the formula that's right for you every month. I canceled it because I'm an Aveda girl and I really still love Aveda. And I thought for 1 minute, let me try something else. And Aveda is still the love of my life. So I'm back to Aveda and they don't have a subscription service, which is kind of a sad thing. What other subscription boxes? I subscribe to food boxes, my husband and I, and we play with them. Sometimes we have the same box. Sometimes right now we're subscribed to 2 different food boxes, but we've done Sunbasket, we've done Dinnerly, we've done Hello Chef, we've done Factor 75. So food boxes. Through Amazon, I subscribe, which isn't the same. It's not a curated box. It's a product. Most of my supplements I subscribe through Amazon. They just send them every month. I was subscribed to Stitch Fix, but I'm not subscribed to Stitch Fix right now. So yeah, none of them are witchy boxes. They're all just things that I need for my world, basically. Do you know where to get witches rune sticks? Leah, I would go to Etsy for that to see if they've got them. Because usually when I find things like that, it's on Etsy. You've got really gorgeous creators. The other person that you might go to, Leah, is, and I don't know that she's actually made these, but she's amazing at making custom items. She's done them for us for a very long time, is Laura Ellison of Your Sacred Life. I don't know right now what her website URL is, but if you go to Instagram and it's your_sacred_life, she makes a lot of really gorgeous wood pieces. I mean, I really feel like that's something that she can probably make for you, and she's incredibly reasonable with her pricing. Hold on, okay. Okay, hold on. I answered that and I answered that. Okay, I'm going to stop answering right here. And then I'm going to save all of these for after the Oracle reading. Hold on. So let's do that. Again, for those of you who are just joining, hello, I'm Elena of the Witches Box, and we're about to go into our Oracle reading for the week, and then we'll go into more Q&A. This is what we're reading from. Nick Bantock's The Archeo. This is the book. And this is the card that I pulled for us today. It's the Duende. It's a beautiful, abstract, darker card. I love this. This doesn't come up for me often, which I find interesting. I'm not quite sure why. I almost felt like, why doesn't this come up for me? Okay, let me read the attribute of this archetype. The Duende is a spirit of the deepest creativity, a silent sound, a struggle that surges up from the soles of our feet. It is of blood, ancient culture, and action, and it calls us out. Without it, our artistic works will be tepid and superficial. Yet with it, our nerve endings become exposed and raw. It is like a divine surge of energy that moves through us because it needs an avenue from which to manifest through. And it does. It can feel deeply, it can singe our nervous system. It is an incredible feeling. It's an incredible flow. Oftentimes, if you ever have an encounter with this archetype or this energy, you'd have a massive surge of creativity and then you're out for the count. Like there's like a lot of sleeping, a lot of recovery. Sometimes if you just like, you pour it all out onto the page or into the world, sometimes afterwards you find that you get sick because your system just moved so much energy. This is a really gorgeous and intense energy stream to work with. Yeah, and I have I think that those of us who are really creative and have had encounters with this energy stream feel like a bittersweetness around it because it's like we're always chasing it, but when it comes, it kind of fries us out, you know? I'm going to keep reading what he wrote here. Persona, this is under the title of Persona. It comes with full force or not at all, burning through us, searing away our resistance. The duende fires us with a power far beyond our normal capacity for expression, making us an outlet of profound art and music. Both primitive and highly sophisticated, its presence sets alight the core of our potential. It is the passionate specter of the earth, a hobgoblin muse demanding that we open ourselves to all possibilities. With guttural song summoned from the caves of our souls, it accepts no lies. The duende is nearby, a pregnant and overwhelming power that is life, fate, and the consummation of risk and knowledge. It is not a mere concept, but a very real presence. Made visible, it is huge, potent, patient, and less tolerant than anything the human will can grasp. It is a bittersweet bliss that will infiltrate the bloodstream like a toxin. It is life loved and lived with the greatest of passions. But if that love is lost, the duende leaves us with an inconsolable grief. This is like not for the faint of heart. It is an archetype or a divine presence that a lot of artists, I think, prostrate themselves to desperately, as a need of being that vessel is just so strong. And some of us believe that, you know what, create or die, right? So there's that element to this card as well. And rather than encourage you to create or die, that's not what I'm saying. What I will say is that when this card comes up, when this energy stream pops up, there are a couple of questions that need to be looked at. What is it that you're resisting? And why are you resisting what needs to come through you? Because right now something has to come through you. It needs to come through you. It's waiting to come through you, and the time of waiting is over. So what is it that you're resisting? And how are you going to commit to opening up as a vessel for this to flow through you? Boom. And it doesn't have to be a great masterful artwork. It could be a word. It could be something that you need to say that you haven't said. It can be a child. It can be a relationship. It can be a new project at work or a new hobby for yourself or a new spell. But something needs to be birthed through you, something that needs to be created into the world, and it's wanting you to be that vessel. And when this card comes up, it's about really surrendering and allowing yourself to be open to the energy to flow through you. And then for those of us who've like danced this dance before, over time, the mastery comes through when you begin to prepare. In other words, if you know this is coming and you know how it affects you, you create supportive practices for yourself so that when you're completely fried at the end of the event or at the end of the channeling, if you want to call it that, there are things that you need to do. You carve rest out for yourself. You carve really nutritious foods for a week after that so that you're replenishing. You kind of up your supplements. You set really very strong boundaries around extra commitments afterwards because you're not available to really give anymore. There are things that you can do, right, to manage the end results that happen when you have danced with this energy. But there it is. That is the reading for today. If you're just coming on, because I know a couple of numbers increased, you can watch the Oracle reading on the replay, but this is the card. It's the Duende. And it's from the Nick Bantock deck, the Archeo. And again, we've got about 6 or 7 of our Oracle card boxes left that include this deck and a bunch of other things. So if you want that, definitely go to the store, thewitchesbox.com, to our witch store, so that you can get them, because once they're sold out, they'll be gone. So there you go. That is this one. I love this. This is a juicy one. Yeah, it's a bittersweet love relationship that you develop as an artist with this particular energy. Yeah. Anyway, like that. All right. So let's go back to what's happening here in the chat. Let me drink some water. Okay, let's see. Then you tie a kitchen. Emerence. I don't know where your part 1 is. Oh, here we go. Elena, Pontius Pilate's, there's the story, his penance for his misdeeds is to help humanity. Pontius Pilate, I tie your balls in a knot until you find for me, fill in the blank. Then part 2, then you tie a kitchen or hand towel in a knot as you say the chant and shove it in a drawer until the lost item. Oh, I get what you're saying. Items are found and you can untie, be open and listen for inspiration. Got it. Okay, this is oh God, I lost it. This is in response to me not knowing where those recipes are. They're here. Okay. Kim says, top of my mind this week is that I need magic related podcast recommendations. Everything seems aimed at beginners and can't hold my attention. I have been really, I haven't been listening to podcasts for a while. I used to have like a huge podcast, like love affair binge, but because I'm reading so much, it becomes difficult to like get all that in. So if anybody has any suggestions on really cool podcasts to listen to that are a little bit more witchy advanced, that would be great. I would love to see what those are as well. Alexis, I wish I could go. I know, girl, I wish you could come too. Well, here's the thing. I'm thrilled. And I think I mentioned here last week that I went to an amazing retreat where I was just able to just put everything aside and just receive. And so this is the first retreat. There is another one that's going to be coming probably in the fall that is not this particular theme. This is about coming together in the woods, reading witchy books, sharing with each other, having someone cook for us. So it's a kind of a vacation, but it's also an opportunity for us to be in the bubble of witches. We're going to just be a group of witches in the middle of the woods. And so I've baked in rituals in the morning and rituals in the evening to kind of, because we're witches, let's do some ritual work together. Let's actually be in the work together. And then there is quite a few hours throughout the day for free time, but also for reading and lounging around Creekside and reading, right? The next retreat will be much more ritual heavy and focused. It'll be a very specific intention. So other retreats are coming. I think that for this first year, probably all of the retreats will be here in Southern California, just so that I want to refine. I don't even know that it's possible to do this, because the reality is that as this retreat gets closer, the amount of like items and things that are, I love putting events like this together. So there are going to be little mini ritual stations placed around the property, outside and inside, so that if you want moments alone to do specific work, there's going to be little ritual setups for you to do on your own. So as those ideas start to come, it's like, I don't know that I can actually travel with the amount of stuff that's going to be like placed around this house. So, yeah, so for at least for the first year, I think they'll all be here in Southern California, just to make it easier to transport all of these things. But in the future, who knows? We'll see how that goes. In any case, there will be others. But yes, I would love for you to have come, but we will meet one day. We will. Let's see. Immune system, vitamin C, extra vitamin D, and I have recipes. I just need a way to send. I don't know how to send you a direct message column. Sophia says Hag Swag is a local witchy box here. Hag is in Canada. Yeah, they've been around for a while, and I hear amazing things about them. For sure. Callum, hey, Mimsy, drop me a message. Okay, so there you go. Funny Gaming. Hi, Funny Gaming. Best Oracle deck that is simple and clear for a newbie in Oracle reading. I can't retain anything with my tarot deck. I'm like Doris and Nemo. That's cute. Here's the reality that that one of the reasons why, I mean, I love Oracle decks and I love Tarot decks. I love them both. And I've talked about this before. They are different languages. They're different themed, right? A Tarot deck is always going to be speaking its very specific language, regardless of the different artistic interpretations of the cards, right? We've got now so many different variations of the tarot cards, but it's still the same story. It's the very, very specific, very concrete archetypal story with the major arcana, and then all of the more day-to-day things go on in the pips. So that's one language. Oracle cards are beautiful because from deck to deck to deck, it's going to be different. It's up for whatever the theme is for the deck, whatever the artist wanted to really share with you. The art might be different. Sometimes it's just words, sometimes it's an affirmation. So I'm just going to grab this in front of me. This is an older card. You guys know this deck because I used it during the holidays. But for instance, there's this deck, the Yule deck, right? So this is just a theme around Yule. The art and the words can direct you so that when you pull these cards, they'll tell you what they're about, and then you can do work around that. We were doing this, I think, probably from last November through the end of December, I think. But I'm just going to show you a couple. But you pull this card. Oh wait, this way. And it's Dove Medicine. It has a little bit of a saying on what it is and a number, but then you can also look at the book, right? So that you don't have to retain this information. It provides it for you. I would say that just about all Oracle decks are like this. And so instead of really giving you like an example of what a good one would be for a beginner, I think that all Oracle decks are great for beginners. And really then it becomes a matter of what art really speaks to you, what themes really speak to you. Do you want a Yule deck? Do you want, I don't have any others near me right now. But do you want it to be about deities? Do you want it to be about emotional states? So you have this massive variety that you can choose from. Any one that you choose is going to be great for you as an Oracle deck, because as a beginner, they will tell you what the cards are about. You don't have to remember or memorize. The card itself will tell you, the book will tell you, and then you can go from there. Let's see. Emran says, Amazon Subscribe and Save is my lifeline. I mean, I'm using it more and more. It just makes life so convenient. Especially up here where it's just difficult to get to anything. Okay, is that your address? I have no idea what's happening there, Colin. Abby says, I love that busy witches need the space to create, and sub boxes for the mundane is totally making sense. It is. It does. It really, really does. Yeah. I used to love cooking, but when my life got really busy right now, I just don't cook. I just order food boxes, and mine right now are already made meals. These are amazing modern conveniences that we can avail ourselves of. Jamie says, yay, I'm so freaking excited for the witch retreat. I know. I have not been in communion with other witches in person and cannot wait to connect and just spend time with you and other witchy souls. I know. I'm so excited that you're coming. I mean, it's not even FOMO. I think I talked about this before. The anticipation keeps building where I'm like giddy and ridiculously like, it's happening. I need to learn to calm myself down because again, I have the whole structure written out. I have the rituals written out. I have my list of all the things that are needed to make all this happen. But every single day I have to like reel myself back in because I keep thinking, oh, we can do this. And it's like, wait a minute. Don't add a single other thing to the list. We'll do it for the next one because I don't want it to also be this event where you have to do something from 1 hour to the next. There needs to be super deep downtime baked into the whole thing. But I'm so excited that the list of all the things is endless. It's amazing. Angela. Oh my gosh. Why? There you are. The Duende is the first card in that deck that I can closely resonate with. It means Spanish soul or lamenting or emotional, but very creative energy. It is. It's an intensely primal creative energy. It's not um who I don't remember who it was I was having this conversation with, where someone was talking about working with creative deities like Sarasvati as an example, who is she is kind of the patron. No, to say that she's a patron is not the right wording at all, culturally at all, but she rules over creative cursive or words or writing. And she fuels that creative flow, but this is different. The duende is a very, very different, it's a very primal energetic force. It's a force that can blow out your nervous system if you aren't ready for it. It's why we do the practices that we do on the regular that are not things like spells, things like meditation, things like transformative ritual, things like journeying, help strengthen and fortify our nervous system to be able to manage when we start to really channel those bigger energy streams, because it can blow us out. And by blowing us out, I don't mean kill you, but it is common to get sick, to get a cold, to have a much weakened immune system later, because you've just really moved a lot of energy through you, which taxes your body, right? So it's a beautiful but intensely big energy. It is actually, yes, you're right. It's a great card for shadow work, definitely. Okay, so you guys are talking to each other. That's good. Camilla says, please, tips to surrender and let go and stop resisting. I tend to do it, but most of the time it's not fully intentional, it's subconscious. Without really knowing what you're resisting and not surrendering to, okay, hold on. What comes up? So I don't think that this is what you are referring to, but I'm going to include it in this, which is there are times when our external world is demanding to let go, us that we let go, and demanding that we surrender. But some part of us resists because it's not the right time for us to do that, right? So it's important to have discernment around those things. But if it's your default subconscious reaction to everything, because you're being run by an unconscious or subconscious unattended to wound, and it's like just a habituated defense, then it's not necessarily the way to go about remedying that by trying to force surrender or let go. It's really about creating an inner sense of safety and an inner sense of groundedness in yourself, so that then you're able to do the surrender and you're able to let go. The inability to surrender and let go is a defense to, it's a fear defense, right? Because you've been hurt, or because the loss of control was damaging in some way, or because in your environment growing up, maybe other people were out of control and there was no one to surrender with or to, because no one was safe enough to hold that for you, yeah? Or to respect that in you. So things to help in the surrendering and in the letting go is really to create a sense of safety to do that. There are, and I don't know why this is coming up, but I'm gonna just go with it. There can often be a deep desire for someone to create that safety for us, and when we find someone that we really want to be a safe haven for us to surrender into or to let go in front of or with, they turn out to not be capable of really handling that, and then they re-damage us in a different way, thus reinforcing that defense mechanism of hell no, you're like locked down, right? So it becomes really, really important to understand that the path is to be safe within yourself. The path is to provide that safety for yourself. The path is to understand that there are going to be places where it's okay and places where it's not. And even when you really desperately want to let go and you desperately want to surrender, if your discernment is seeing that this is not the environment to do that, understand that you need to be able to make that choice for yourself, and then find for yourself the place where you can surrender and can let go. Does that make sense? Now, that might not even be addressing what the real issue is. Sometimes we need to let go of a toxic relationship. Sometimes we need to let go of a toxic connection, and we don't want to let go because we have habituated the dependency on that dynamic. It's interesting that this comes up too, because another topic that's been happening again with some of us on Team Witchery is the book that I reviewed called Existential Kink. And I think that I don't know, maybe it was last year that I reviewed this book. And in Existential Kink, one of the things that she talks about is that we want to let go of that bad habit, or we want to let go of that thing that keeps wounding us, or we want to let go of that relationship that's not necessarily good for us. But we can't do it. We find that we are unable to let it go because some part of us is still getting a payoff from the abuse, or from the drama, or from the back and forth, or whatever it is. And this book is kind of controversial because people have a trigger effect around her word is, you're getting turned on by this. And some people are like, hell no, I'm not getting turned on by this. I'm getting hurt by this. This is really traumatic. This is really awful. I don't like this. But there is always some part of us that's getting something out of the not letting go. And we can't really let go until we get really honest with ourselves about what it is. Maybe it's attention. Maybe it's the false sense of love that we learned when we were kids. It's not love, but that's how we learned love, right? You need to get clear about, if I am not letting go, what is the payoff? It's uncomfortable work. It's shadow work. It's not pretty. And it creates a lot of resistance because oftentimes we're not willing to admit that I'm actually getting a payoff from this drama. I'm actually getting a payoff from this toxic relationship. So I've kind of given you two ways to look at that. Certainly not giving you an easy formula to like cut it and go, because it's not necessarily that easy. Yeah. I hope in some way that helps you. Yeah. This is what's happening. I don't know if any of you have ever been on a live stream on YouTube. You've got a little, like, I have a little stream of chats, right, that are happening here. And I'm on my MacBook Pro, so it's a laptop. So with my two fingers, I'm kind of scrolling, and then all of a sudden I'm scrolling, and then all of a sudden it just jumps. I don't understand why. And then I lose track of where I was with all of you. Oh, Meg is going to be in France in the fall. I mean, being in France is kind of epic. I'm sorry you won't be with us, but France is kind of cool. Angela says, I love the Witch Wave podcast interviews. That's a good referral. Season Wee Moon has some referrals as well for podcasts. The Tarot of the Wild Soul with Lindsay Mack, who is her dearest tarot teacher. Beautiful. Okay, Emerence is working on finding podcasts. Funny gaming. Wow. Okay, thank you. I want something simple. My tarot deck never fail, but it's so much work to memorize. It is a lot of work to memorize. It's like a lifetime journey with tarot. Excuse me. I haven't been burpy for like a week. I don't know what is going on with me. Hold on. Oh, column, I got it. Season Wee Moon has a recommendation for an oracle. It's the Glowwood Oracle deck on ecology. Brilliantly researched and presented walkthrough from Kelly from the Truth Story on YouTube. Beautiful, good. Thank you for the referral. Angela says, it's like digging deep into your soul to get rid of what's not needed. Yes. Some brands and artists that have that vibe I like. Stained. I haven't heard that name in years. Stained was amazing. Is probably still amazing. Flyleaf and Evanescence. Yes. Girl, we're like musical soulmates. I love it. There's love and heartbreak songs too. Yes. Love Light says, I love reading. I'm reading right now Evolution Witchcraft and have 3 from Troy books. Yes. Layla says, now that we're talking about oracle cards, I went to a shop and bought witchy things. I saw in the corner of my blue deck, it came into my dreams, so I had to go back and buy it. I fell in love. Beautiful. What is it? Tell us what it is. Good, Camilla. I'm glad that that was helpful. And then Emerance has some suggestions as well. Love Light, the Black Letter Press has a lot of amazing witchcraft books too. Yes. I mean, I'm a pre-sale order group and advise others to do so since they sell out fast. Yeah, that's true. Bum 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 bum. Okay, peeps, it's time for bed. Good night, Elizabeth. Thank you for coming. Abby's still working my way through Holistic Tarot. Yes. I mean, that book is probably another forever book. I mean, I've said this before, where if you never buy another book again, that book, I feel like that book, I read it all the way once through, and then since then I've gone through several times, and I get more and more out of it each time I go through it, because it's a lot of information to take in, number one, because she did just such a stellar job with this book. But the progression and evolution of your relationship with tarot necessarily changes over time. What you pick up about it, what you understand about it, is informed by your own maturation as a spiritual being, but as a person in the world as well. And so it's such a beautiful, ever evolving relationship that is just constantly enriching itself. So it's a book that I imagine, you know, having forever and getting something out of it as time passes over and over and over again. I don't think that that book is ever going to be outdated, or a book that you look at fondly and say, oh, that was great then. I think it's always going to be really helpful. So that book, I mean, it's just the one that I recommend the most. It is great for tarot. In terms of memorizing the meanings of cards, there are different ways to do that. Some people do it super old school way, where they have no cards and they literally just memorize it. Some people learn it as a story, right? The story of the movement from from the Fool all the way to the end, and what that represents in human evolutionary terms. So there's all these different ways to learn it. But then on top of that, you have to also take into account the fact that each card then also has an alchemical symbol and an astrological symbol, and all of these different meanings are layered into each card. It can be a lot. And for that reason, it is why I recommend always start with the Rider-Waite Tarot or the Rider-Waite Smith, one of those two, because that is the version in which you're going to get all of those symbols in it, and it becomes an easier reference point to learn from. Then later you can go into the more abstract cards once you've developed like a common relationship with the cards themselves. So it takes work. And it's not like a one and done thing. It's like you are constantly having to feed that knowledge base, and you're constantly having to feed that memory base, because there are a lot of cards, it's a lot of story, it's a lot of meaning, a lot of correspondences. And so it's a practice where you might feel like you know the language of the whole tarot deck, but if you put it down and 2 months later you come back to it, you're not going to remember as much as you did before. You need to really be in it almost daily, really. Okay. Layla says the blue deck is Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor from Hay House. I work through it 1 card a week. I have 53 cards for all through the year. Beautiful. I'll have to look that up. I'm gonna write that down. Where's my pen? Pen. Okay. What is it? Energy Oracle. Beautiful. Okay. Like that. Are there any other questions? Where are we at right now? We're at 1:43. I don't think I have any other announcements. Do I? Not right now. Next week on the 23rd at 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I didn't bring them with me. Why didn't I do that? Next week on the 23rd in the morning, we have another live stream going on. It's on a Wednesday, 10 o'clock Pacific time. And it is for, the second video. It's like a Q&A video for the Witches box for February. That's the Oracle card box, the one that we were talking about, where we'll be talking about creating your own Oracle deck, working with the dice system like that I showed earlier. We have 6 or 7 of those boxes left. You can go buy one if you didn't get one for the subscription. But you can also just participate in that live and ask questions and learn something there. So it's there. That video live stream is for the people who were subscribed or bought the box as a single box, or those of you who didn't buy the box and don't have the box but want to learn something. That's there for you, and that's free of charge here on YouTube. That's happening next Wednesday. This Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, we have our live guided meditation here on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's it for announcements. Well, also, no, there's more announcements. The next Tuesday evening is our live Witches Book Coven gathering for the book subscription. If you are not subscribed for the book subscription and you didn't get a February book bundle, these are amazing books, and I highly recommend them. We've got maybe 2 or 3 of those book bundles left. That's also in our witch bookstore or our witch store online at thewitchesbox.com. Maybe we have 2 or 3, but if you buy those bundles, you may not have the books in time for the live, but then you can be there and learn about the books and the topics before you actually get the books. They're really, really fantastic. Okay. Alexa says, "Oh, Elena, you have got to check out the Sacred Earth Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno and Leela J. Williams. The artwork by Helene Nelson. The theme, imagery, and colors are amazing." Okay, more writing down. Hold on. My pencil rolled off of the thing. Sacred Earth. I feel like I have a deck similar to that name. I'll have to look. Okay, I think that's not my conversation. Emran says, "You need me to be your virtual assistant for announcements." I know. What I need is just to make a list. When Emily's here, Emily's fantastic, but Emily can't be here when it's a later stream because she's in England. So at this point, I think she's probably getting close to sleeping at this point. But she's around for our guided meditation. I'm just like a little off today. Actually, that's not true. I got distracted because it's like slushy rain now. It's not even rain. It's like not hail, not rain. It's like slush is falling from the sky. It's kind of amazing. Susan Weeman says, "A tarot is the social, economic, political, personal language of life, which is cyclical in every way. My gentle thinking." Yes, absolutely. Crystal says, "Are either of the authors joining the box Zoom this month?" I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting to hear back. So I'm hoping that the answer is a big yes. Abby says, "I'm drawn to Sacred Forest Oracle, which feels similar-ish to that." Similar-ish to that deck. Emran says, "I've canceled practically everything else. My world has been about learning more about everything that comes from the boxes and books." Oh, wonderful. Yes. So what was I going to say about boxes? What other boxes have I used? Look, I hear that I've never had other witchy boxes, and for a while I was going to, but at the time, in the very beginning when I started this box, I didn't want to be influenced by other boxes, so I tried really hard to not look at others. And then now I'm just so busy that I don't really look around anywhere for anything anymore. But there are some really fantastic boxes, like the Tamed Wild is a beautiful box as I've seen it. The Hag box is gorgeous. There's that one in England. Hold on, what is it called? I don't know. There's one in England, and I keep forgetting what it's called, but it's really kind of a little bit more gothic in feel, but it's cool. The Witch's Moon is fantastic. Like, I think that we are really in a place where there are a lot of options for really great witch boxes for sure. And maybe before it's all said and done, I should probably subscribe to all of them to kind of get a peek. But I'm also just inundated with stuff, right? So I try to pick my subscription boxes to be really about, like, what do I need to have someone just deliver to me so that I can use that energy instead of focusing on buying the stuff. I can focus my energy in other places that are more productive for me. Oh, Elsbeth says, "We call that sleet here in Scotland." Maybe it's called sleet here too. I don't know. I'm still like, even though I've been on this hill for a while, I'm still like a Southern Beach, California girl at heart. And we didn't have this weather, even though I'm in Southern California, but this is like a very teeny little area where we happen to just be at a higher elevation. So it's probably called sleet, because I don't think I've ever heard anyone say it's slushing, right? It's sleeting. It's not slushing. Witch casket. That's the one. Yes. What normally comes in the book box? Only books. Yes. Okay. So the book box is 2 boxes. I mean, oh my God. The book box is 2 books. This book belongs to stickers, 1 bookmark, and then the letter just introducing that book. And then that comes with access, if you're subscribed, that comes with access to the forum so that you can talk with other people about the reading that you're doing that month. And then it also comes with an invitation to the live, which is book coven gathering at the end of the month, where I think about at this point, 99% of the time, an author or both authors, if we have 2 different authors, will come and join us as well, and talk about the books, and we can ask them questions, and it's really quite a lovely time. So that is what comes with the book box. Yeah. Emran says, I know what box from England you were talking about, and it looks really interesting, but not an option for me now. Yes, it is Witch Casket. That's what the one that I'm talking about. I had just forgotten the name. Yeah. I've never been interested in like there's different subscription box models, yeah? So one of the models is the discount box model. They don't sell it to you as a discount box, but that's what it is. So like I think BoxyCharm and a lot of witch boxes are like this too. A lot of boxes are like this in different milieus, I don't know, different themes, where they just send you things at a discounted price because they're getting things for very low to very free prices from other companies that just want to market. So they give the company, the subscription company, all of these products to send to you, and you pay for that box, but at a super low price because the person sending you the stuff is getting the stuff mostly free or for very cheap. And that's considered a discount box where you're paying a very little amount for a lot of stuff because the stuff that you're getting sent, the company didn't actually have to pay a whole lot for or anything at all. And it's a great model for people, for like bigger companies who want to market to like a new audience. They give a bunch of free stuff to the subscription box, and then the subscription box sends it out to all their people. And so that other company reaches more people. Yeah. So there's that. Then there are just boxes that provide you with an experience, which is, we're one of those, but there's also other boxes that provide you with a subscription experience. Like there's like the whiskey of the month or the bourbon of the month, the shaver of the month. There are all these different boxes that want to give you an experience. So it's not a discount. You're paying the price of the thing, but you're getting a curated experience. And so we fall under the curated experience business model, where I curate a learning for you of some sort, or a ritual of some sort for you, or something that is going to facilitate your deeper learning. And that's why you get the box. And we are a premium price box. We're not cheap, right? But you get a box for a premium price. But really, and people get confused when I say this, but the money that you're spending really isn't for the box. The money that you're spending is for the deep dive and the learning and the community. And the box just happens to be the accessory that comes along with it. I know that most of you don't see it that way, but that's how I see it, because the value is in the deeper facilitation that you're getting from our month to month explorations here. So there's options, right? There's options for your budget. There's options for the experience that you want to have. Some of us just want to get really cool stuff in the mail and don't want to go any deeper than that. That's cool, because I've done that, and that can be amazing too. It just depends on what you're looking for. Don't tempt me, books. Books are tempting. I'm not even gonna, I can't show you, but I have started to rearrange things so that I can make room for these books, but I'm also letting go of some books. So it's a sad day. Let me just remove this person. Funny Gaming. I love this name, Funny Gaming. Yeah, there are a lot of books I want to get, but this box seemed to offer them at good prices. Angela says Witch Casket is a bit expensive from the UK, but it's a good beginner's box. I watched a YouTuber who does regular unboxing. Awesome. Yeah, it can. This is the thing too. It can get really expensive if you're getting them and you're not domestic, right? Shipping is just a lot. So if you're in England, it would probably make more sense to order from the Witch's Casket than it is to from us, because we charge a lot for shipping. And know that I don't actually charge you all of what I get charged for shipping. Shipping is just off the rails. It's off the rails. And so international shipping can be incredibly cost prohibitive for a lot of people. So I totally get it. It's a lot. It's a lot. There's just no way to get around that. Crystal said, I finally got the last bookmarker to complete the set this month. Only took a year. That's wonderful. We've also been using the same 5, right? I think it's the same 5 bookmarkers for the last 2 years. I'm thinking that maybe for 2023 we'll switch it all up. But I just love them so much, right? And I have them now in so many different books that we haven't talked about it, Tree and I, about what it might be like to create a whole new set of bookmarkers, but they're just so lovely. All right, let's see. I lost my place again. Okay, Kay, wonderful. Thank you. Have a good time, and thank you for being here. Plus, this community is priceless. I have to say, this community is amazing. You guys are just. I'm still, after all this time, I get emotional. I don't even want to talk about it because I get so emotional thinking about it. But after all this time, I'm still so floored by the beauty and the willingness and the way you all show up, and the fact that I kind of scored. Like, I really scored with an amazing audience and customer group and just community of witches that came around this project. And I'm still kind of like in denial or disbelief, like, oh my God, look at you guys. It's amazing. So I'm really grateful. This is an amazing, amazing community. Emerin says, BoxyCharm was amazing, but it went bye-bye in favor of getting the Witch's Box. We have to make choices. We have to make choices. Will you let us know when you're getting rid of your books? I will. Well, here's the thing. I have some of the books that I let go of. Hold on. Something weird is happening here. Something weird is happening here. Sorry, if I go dark. I think I got it. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by a strange type of spammy thing. Oh, sorry. Love Light, getting rid of books. So we have close by, we have one of those cute little free lending or free libraries on the corner. And so some of the books that I let go of have gone in there. Some of the books in the past have gone to our book giveaway, but I think that we're getting ready. We're in February, probably by June, if not sooner, we're going to be doing our mystery box run again. And it may be that I will put those books that are not written in, because you know me, a lot of the books that I have, I've written in. So the ones that are not written in, that are in good condition, I'll probably send out in the mystery boxes as well. So the mystery boxes that'll go out this year will probably be pretty book heavy. Like, I think that in the past we've sent out 1 book in each box for the most part. We may go to 2 in each of the mystery boxes because we have quite a few books at this point in our workshop just waiting. Sky says, I came across the statue of Duende when we were in the National Coffee Park. Where is the National Coffee Park? A lovely windy walk down a hill with statues of mythical beings. This card today was timely. Oh, I love that. Where is this? Oh, you're welcome, Abby. Esther says, hi, Lena, hope you're well. Could we do a community ritual for one of the future boxes, either in the forum or as a Zoom? Will you be doing Zooms again? Right now I'm only doing Zooms for the books. And yes, we will be doing Zooms again. I am in the process of very, very finally, because this is like 2 years coming, we're going to slowly be rolling out a whole new different layer to the Witch's Box. We will be changing our name. I don't think I've said that anywhere before, so that is like a big scoop. We will be changing our name. We will still have the Witch's Box, but there's going to be a whole new layer brought into the Witch's Box, and actual ritual experience together. This has been coming for a while. It will be woven into that new layer. So there will be Zooms again. There will be rituals again. So be on the lookout for that. Some of those will be behind a paywall. And what that means is that there are 2 courses that I'll be releasing in the next, between now and June. And you have to have been part of that course to participate in the ongoing, like I was thinking of maybe, don't hold me to this. I'm not giving you a lot of concrete information, so you probably can't hold me to this. But for instance, if you become part of this particular class, it's like a one and done forever, you'll be able to participate in that particular ritual whenever I do it, like once a season or something of that effect. So we're going to be weaving more ritual work on Zoom, because really it's about the experience and coming together and doing the work. And we just haven't had enough of that. And I've been trying to find ways to weave that in a way that's sustainable. So I'm still trying to figure it out. But now the answers are coming. Now I've got more of a grip on what needs to really happen. So you'll start to see that roll in, basically. Yeah, Emerin says, ex-postal employee. I can only tell you that Elena is telling the truth about shipping, and I worked for an insurance company as mail center boss, and I know about all shipping company. Shipping is brutal. It's just brutal. I don't even know what else to say about it. I wish I can kind of like bypass it altogether. You just can't. It's in Colombia. Hummingbirds and magical places. Beautiful. Esther wants to know how many books I read a week. It ranges anywhere from 1 to 4. Depending on the week and what's happening. 1 to 4. Yes, mystery boxes. Rochelle says, Elena, you are attracting an audience like this one because you are so authentic. Oh, enjoyable to be with and hella smart. Thank you for saying that. Julmar or Season Wee Moon says, supporting sacred economies, the Witch's Moon box, the Witch's Roots, yes, and the Witch's Bounty. They have the 3. They're really amazing. And I have envy. Let me just be honest. I'm going to put myself out there and say that their Book of Shadow pages are like exquisite. I don't even know what magic and sorcery is going on over there, but their Book of Shadow pages are really, I mean, they're just next level. They're so beautiful. And I think that their website is the Witch's Moon, but they've got 3 different box layers or subscriptions available that have different names. So the Witch's Bounty, the Witch's Moon box, and the Witch's Roots. Beautiful. Emerence, I think this is in reference to how many books. Yeah, I can usually get through 3 a week if I'm not distracted. Lately I've been distracted, so I'm very behind. Yeah, I mean, and life happens, right? So it's like sometimes there's a lot of time, sometimes there isn't. Sometimes I'm reading like a big chunky book, so that definitely takes the whole time. I had this fantasy that I would, burn through 4 books a week, and that's just not always realistic. Audiobooks are helpful with this though, and so I think I've mentioned this in several different videos in the past where if I'm driving around, there's always an audiobook going. In the morning while I'm brushing my teeth and doing my hair, I've got an audiobook going, right? So that also helps with getting books in throughout the week. Yes, changing the name. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Julmar. You are a day star in the clearing mist. Beautiful. Thank you. It is an amazing book. Mustache. Okay, Sky, take care. Thank you for being here. Esther, I'm loving your Vimeos for the boxes. Thank you for that. Your boxes are worth the price point, especially with all the teachings you include. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I am shaking it up. No, we're shaking it up. Well, it's been shaking up for a while in the background. You haven't seen it, but it's been wanting to shake up for a while. And I think I mentioned this last week where I sent a text to Tree, our graphic designer, who's also my Frister, my sister Frister, my friend sister, my bestie, where I'm like, what really wanted to happen came through a long time ago, but the how and the way to maneuver and get there and transition just was so was elusive. It was just something I couldn't quite grasp. And it's also scary, right? We have a known quantity. You all know who the Witch's Box is. We've been around for 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in October, which I can't even believe. So there's some nervousness about changing it up. But one of the things, and I'll find a platform in some way to talk about this in more depth because I think it's important to share with all of you. But one of the things that's become very clear for me and my mission, my personal mission, and why I'm doing this, is to really get down to the truth of this path and what it is to be a witch in the world in a particular way, because there are many different ways to be a witch in the world. Yeah. And what came through is because a lot of people were like, oh my God, you're doing the witch box. And this is so amazing. It's so revolutionary. It's so like, people like, they're not lying. It is that stuff, but it also began to really get clear that this is very, very, this is a very sanitized offering. It's a very sanitized way to put this work out in the world, and it's really not the truth of what really wants to come through. And so I've really had to sit with, what does that mean? And what is it that really wants to happen here? What is the soul of witchcraft that really wants to be birthed forth? And how would I do that? So that's a lot. And that's not in any way, shape, or form to say that what we do at the Witches Box is not good. It's great. I think it's fantastic. I stand by what we've done and what we're doing, but more wants to be seen and more wants to be done. So it's time. It's taken a while to really coalesce that into like a very crystalline vision and move in that direction with really clear and integrity, a really clear and integrous intention. So boom, like that. That's a lot to put out there. Crystal says, magical folk is my other favorites. I don't know a magical folk box. More about learning, expanding practice similar to the Witches Box rather than collectibles. I don't know who they are. I'll have to look them up. Magical folk. Never heard of them. Kim says, will you touch on the moon ritual coven? I will. And are you doing Harvesting the Honey this year? Yes. Harvesting the Honey should be out sometime in April. And the moon ritual coven is a subscription, but it's a digital subscription where really all it is you are part of a community, and I give you 3 different rituals and teachings around each of the phases of the moon each month. So right now we are in the full moon in Leo, tomorrow in the morning, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And a couple of days before each moon phase, the new moon, the full moon, and the dark waning moon, I create a little teaching for you, what the focus of that lunar ritual is going to be, and then I write an entire script for a solo ritual for you and a group ritual for you. If you have a group, you can use that group ritual. If you don't, you don't have to, but there's a solo ritual there that you can do. So basically it's for people who want to do work around the moon, but don't really have the time to create like a ritual script for themselves, or don't know enough at this point to create those rituals for themselves around the moon and the lunar energy as it travels through its phases, but also as it travels through its astrological signs. That's $27 a month. And then every once in a while, I'll throw in extra teachings, right? So there's a whole bunch of modules in there because we've been doing this now, I think since last June or last July. So you can always go back and look at all of the other rituals that I've provided for you so that you can take those, put those in your Book of Shadows and use those at another time for yourself later. But there are also teachings on manifestation. There's teachings on different phases of the moon. So over time, what is available there increases, and it's always available for you as long as you're subscribed. You can go back and check out all those modules and kind of get that information and keep it for yourself. Yeah. So that's the Moon Ritual Coven. And the coven part of it is that there's a community, there's a forum, so you can talk with other people and share. And if you wanted to gather with other people in the forum and do like a Zoom ritual together, because I offer group ritual scripts that you can then adapt and do it over Zoom, you can do that as well. Because I know some of you have groups to do work with in your environment, in your like neighborhoods or your homes, but some of you don't and are really wanting to start doing work with other people. That's available for you as well if you wanted to coordinate that and connect with other people and do that work. So that's the Moon Ritual Coven. Hold on. And Harvesting the Honey is it's a 7-month process with a lot of teaching and a lot of spell work around the energy stream of abundance in your life. And that back in April, that'll come back in April. Emerin says, Elena, I've actually been feeling the calling that you're speaking of. I didn't know what it was about, but thanks for the explanation. Now it all makes sense. I love it. And Abby says, I'm excited to see what future shapes up here. Oh, I can't even read because it skipped. I'm excited to see what the future shapes up to be. Lifting the veil. Yes, absolutely. I am too. Season Woman says, Elena, have you seen the book Major Arcana Portraits of Witches in American written by Frances D? No, you are all so full of great resources today. I have no idea. So Major Arcana. I'm writing on a napkin, you guys. This is a mess. Okay. I will look that up. Okay, so Rachel says if you're making moon water and the full moon is in the day, do you put the water out the night before or the night after? Yes, the night before. You put it out the night before. And if the night after is still in the same sign, you can put it out then as well. I don't recommend that all the time, but if it's in the same sign and you want that particular energy, you can do it the night after. Love Light says yes, here in Florida, full moon 100% midnight tonight. Emerence, Abby B2. You guys are lovely. I love you guys. Esther, okay, you're talking to Rachel. And Aditya says, can a guy be a witch? Absolutely. Anyone of any gender can be a witch. Yes. Jilmar says the deep dive gatherings, covens, harvesting the honey, nourishingly unique to the witch's box. Yes. Another books. Do you call yourself a witch or something else? Do I call myself? I call myself a witch. I call myself a lot of things, but I call myself a witch. Yes. Oh, I don't know if you hear that, but that is the much loved UPS guy who is coming to deliver things. Currently, right now, we're going to close out in a second. What time is it? Oh yeah, we're going to close out soon. But currently, right now, just to kind of give you a little behind the scenes, like what's going on. Tobin and Erica are in the workshop next door, in the building next door to me. And they are filling herb boxes or herb bags for the March box. The March box. Oh, this is another sneak peek and announcement. The March box is going to be on unhexing or hex. It's the unhexing box. Boom. That's the big reveal. If you're not subscribed and you want to subscribe and make sure that you get that particular box, which is an amazing box, which comes with an amazing book, you want to be on this, you have to subscribe by today. This is the last day, to subscribe in order to make sure that you get the March box. Oh my gosh, what is going on with me? But also the March books. So if you're not subscribed, boom, today's the day. And then after that, if you subscribe, let's say tomorrow on the 16th, your first box won't be until April. So just so that we're clear, it's the last day. If you want to be in on it, today's the day. And the March books, I'm so excited about the March books, because they're great books, but also because one of the books I had the grand honor of getting an advanced copy of and write a testimonial blurb for it. And my testimonial blurb is actually in the book. And I'm just like, oh, that's so giddy because I love doing that. And this book is fantastic. So that's for the March box. I can't track my months. Okay. Cullum is a dude and he calls himself a witch. And yeah, we're all witches. I love it. Okay. So Midnight Blood, great name. Hey, I was wondering if there was any ritual or anything specific that's done in the morning or during, in mourning or during a funeral. Let me read that again. Hey, I was wondering if there was. So Midnight Blood, there can be so many different things that are done. I mean, just the burial service alone is a ritual that we have in various different ways that take place across the planet, right? So we all have our mourning rituals. The Jewish tradition has very specific rituals around mourning and very specific rituals around funerals and burials. So yes, there are many. It depends on where you're coming from. If you're looking to do something that is specific to you, because we all also then have very personal things that we might want to do, as opposed to the thing that becomes a collective ritual, right? The way we visit each other, the way we bring food to someone who's just lost a loved one. Those are all the rituals that we engage in when someone has passed. There are things that you can do on your own. For instance, when my mother passed this last September, for quite a few weeks after I had to travel to be with her when she was dead and to deal with the funeral services there. But then when I came home, I did a lot of shamanic journeying to be with my ancestors as a way to prepare the way for her to be welcomed into their arms, right? So there are different things that you can do also on your own. It just depends on what you're looking for. Julmar, thank you. touched that you would do that. Thank you so much. So there are different things that you would do, but also, did you write it wrong in a way that didn't make sense? Hold on. Hold on. Midnight. Sorry, I wrote that so wrong. Did you write that so wrong? I don't know. I thought I understood it, but tell me what you meant, because maybe I went on a completely different tangent that you weren't looking for, Midnight Blood. So tell me what you wanted to know and I'll try to answer. Esther says, Elena, can unhexing be done for family that have done serious damage, or is that taboo? You know, what do I want to say about that? There's so much that's taboo culturally that, what does that even mean, right? I find that we're all adults. This is how I've approached this, particularly since I'm a leader in a community and I'm teaching you. We're adults. It's important that you be an adult, and it's important for all of us to take personal responsibility. Sometimes there are group taboos that as an individual you need to like make decisions about. Are you going to do this or not? It's all on you. We're witches. We need to be really responsible for our behavior and understand why we do what we do and why we wouldn't do what we don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? So there are instances, and I've said this before, in which do I want to go out harming people? No, that's just not my nature. I don't feel like that's conducive to life in the way that I really want to support it. But trust and believe that if someone is coming after someone that I love, or someone is coming after a child that it's in my care or that I love as well, I'm going to do whatever needs to happen to stop that harm from happening. And if that means that someone else gets harmed in the process, then that might be a choice that I'm willing to make. Does that make sense? That might be taboo in a lot of groups. But individually, for me, I'm willing to take on those consequences. I'm willing to take on that consequence for what I need to do for those that I'm taking care of or protecting. In terms of unhexing or doing some sort of curse removal in a family, there are some that would look at that as you shouldn't interfere with someone else's karma or someone else's path. But if you're feeling called to that, there are ways to mitigate those taboos. There's a way to have a conversation and say, I feel like we have a curse that we're dealing with here, and I want to do work to eliminate that. Sometimes people will deny you that ability. Sometimes they'll say, yes, please, right? So do I feel like it's taboo? I mean, maybe, but I think that we have really creative ways to work with that in a way that can be communicative and honest and transparent. And then there are some times in which the situation is so dangerous and so harmful that wasting time asking may not be the right choice. Maybe it's like you need to act very quickly to end the damaging energy and then deal with the consequences later, and be clear that you're going to probably have to deal with consequences later. That's not a popular opinion, but that's how I approach it. So I'm also tend to be, I think it's probably my Cuban roots, but I tend to be very, oh my God, you guys, thank you. You don't have to do that, but I highly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm Cuban, and there is a part of me that is still very unpolitically correct, tribal. Like, I have people in my care. I have people that I have committed to love and to care for and to protect. I'm going to do that. And sometimes that doesn't look good. You know what I mean? Thankfully, there are ways to do practices and ways to live in the world and create resonant fields in the world where that kind of thing doesn't have to happen often. I don't find myself in those situations very much or at all. Like, I can't even remember the last time there was a situation that I had to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, again, like that. Okay. Both of you, thank you so much for the generous gift. You are both amazing, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Midnight Blood, I'm glad that I answered your question correctly. Okay. Excuse me. Do Wiccans have exception for hex? I'm going to say it in a family-friendly manner. I'm a survivor. Or I should stop following the Wiccan way and just be a witch. Okay, well, I'm not going to tell you what you should do. There's that. Wicca is a tradition. There are many different types of traditions in the witchcraft, like under the witchcraft umbrella. And there are great things about traditions, and then there are also things about traditions that can feel really oppressive to people who like to kind of like create an alchemy of their own. Yeah, both serve really important purposes, and I think can be really helpful for one personality as opposed to another. Yeah. um I am no longer familiar with how Wiccans navigate this kind of conversation. I was trained as a Wiccan in the very, very early days, but I have long since moved into other directions. And so I don't feel comfortable speaking to how Wiccans would maneuver around this, in particular because I was trained as a Dianic witch. And so even though the Wiccan read is and harm none, do as thou wilt, there is a world in which hexing can be harmful, can be viewed as harmful, and so the interpretation would be that you should not hex if you're a Wiccan. But I was trained as a Dianic witch, and Dianic witches, when it comes to things like oppression, were very, very pro hex the patriarchy. Oh, crap in half. All right, hold on a second. I'm still here, but my stuff has overheated. So I'm going to keep talking until my camera cools down, and then I'm going to come back up. But also, I need to go in 10 minutes. So all that to say is that I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. But if you have been a practicing Wiccan for a while, ask someone who's an elder in your immediate community to see what they would say. And go with that. Here's what I'm going to say about hexing, though. I don't feel that hexing is or should be the very first response to a problem. I think that there are things that need to be done that would help you, like create protection for yourself, do a lot of cord cutting for yourself so you're removed from the unhealthy or toxic dynamic. There are other things to do, yeah, that respond to the situation. Oftentimes people turn to the idea of hexing because they're in reaction, they're in anger, they're in vengeful thinking, and that magic is going to backfire on you. And it's going to backfire on you not because it's a punishment from some unseen being on high. It's going to backfire because the energy, the real motivation behind that magical action is your pain. You're in reaction, you're not in response. So you're not really looking at the field of all the energies that are truly at play behind that action or behavior or situation. Yeah. So all of that, I can probably go on forever about that. I'm going to try to turn my camera back on because who wants to look at a black screen? But hold on one second. You can do it. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to start talking. I don't know if it's going to play. We'll see. Oh, I think I'm back on. Maybe. Esther says she's laughing at Cuban because, oh, you're Costa Rican, married to a Cuban. That's right. You did tell me that. So you know, girl. You know the story. My fiance is Cuban, and I love everything he brings to our relationship, our little family, to my soul. I mean, Cubans are a lot. I can say that because I'm Cuban. Funny Gaming says, I feel balance of bad and good is important, and it seems to be missing in Wicca, even if I very much like the goodness and horn god, the goddess and horn god. You can still work with the goddess and the horn god for sure. And instead of maybe bad and good, let's really work with, we need to find other terms for ourselves. If you're someone who's just rampantly wanting to cause harm, that has nothing to do with good or bad or black or white. It has everything to do with something really deeply wrong with you that you're not tending to. Yeah, we're not talking about that. I think that hexing is about binding, it's about stopping, it's about eliminating, and sometimes we need to do that work. Yeah. But again, we need to be mature spiritual people and really be responsible for ourselves and what we create in the world, and be really ready to manage the consequences of our behavior. And that takes a lot of mindfulness. Yeah. Okay, we're going to end soon because I know that this camera is just going to be like in a minute. Esther says, last quick question. Can I practice magic without being Wiccan? Yes, of course. You don't have to be Wiccan at all. I'm an initiated Lukumi. I mean, okay, you're a Santera. You don't need to be Wiccan, girl. Some of the books are not familiar at all to me, but I'd love to learn. Yeah, absolutely. Wiccan is not the only tradition in witchcraft, and you can just be a witch without subscribing to any tradition. I mean, they call it eclectic witchcraft, but you can just, I'm at this point, I just call myself a witch. And I have influences, right? I have very shamanic influences. I have very animistic influences. And I have some Wiccan influences too, but now it's just its own holy thing. So you can absolutely be a witch. You can practice all sorts of magic without being Wiccan. Absolutely. All right, I'm getting a notice that says stream current bit rate is higher than the recommended. Oh, okay. I don't know. My computer's doing a lot of weird things, but there we are. This was a wonderful gathering. So listen, I will see you next Friday for our live guided meditation, and then all the things next week. Oh, yeah, like that. It's been a little while today, I feel like. I don't know why. Okay, I think that's a response to something else. All right, my loves, thank you for being here. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for all the amazing recommendations. And thank you for being patient with the blackout, because you know how we roll. I've had the heater on the whole time, so this is probably also my fault. But we will see each other in a few days at the guided meditation here on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Take care. Bye.